We were so excited that it was episode 69. You're listening to episode 69. We're going to do it again next week. Yeah.
What's up to our sidekicks and henchfolk out there in the Geek Nation? I just wanted... I love you.
Oh.
I zigged.
Yeah.
So what are we doing? We're doing Fresh Floppies, which is a weekly show because every week is New Comic Book Day. Noel and I get together, JD is me, and we discuss the books that are coming out that day. We pre-read them, and then we let you know our thoughts, and maybe that'll help you be more...
I don't think we don't pre-read them. We're talking about them without having read them.
No, that's bullshit.
Yeah, no, this is what we do.
Don't you listen to him,
I think we
listener.
need to be honest now.
It's finally
we
time.
have never
After
read.
69-ish
We have
episodes.
never read any of these comics.
I've never read a comic.
I don't know how to read.
Yeah. Let's get started with an email.
Oh, sure.
That we have from Christopher St. Saucy Goodnight. It is titled For Fresh Floppies, that helps. He continues, Turtles of Grayscale has a toy line. While I get tired of Turtles endlessly mashing up with every other property, some of the toys look cool. I didn't read the Usagi Power Rangers book, but I did read the last two Usagi minis, Crow and Ice and Snow, and I'm hoping Dark Horse continues with the colored minis. He PS's, there was no such thing as good Ramita Jr., which I will take issue with, pun intended.
I'm kind of new to Usagi. I've read some of the old stuff. I liked the color re-releases of the old stuff.
Yeah.
And some of the new stuff. Yeah. It changed publishers?
Oh, I think
so many times.
Yeah.
But
it's like Strangers in Paradise.
Yeah, like Dark Horse isn't going to have them after soon or something. Either way,
Honestly, I don't keep track.
What's interesting is that as a retailer, I don't keep track. I actually do. Does anybody pull Usagi
I have
for you?
One subscriber for Usagi.
Wow.
Yeah. Which is a shame. It's a great book.
The remasters that they've been doing was something that the most current publisher was doing for them.
Yes.
So I have no idea if they're going to continue with the remasters after that. That'd be interesting because I have a couple of those trades. They're wonderful.
Yeah. I got the big. I opened it, but I haven't really got a chance to sit with it. It's two big omnibuses in a dust cover. Not a dust cover.
That's the Fantagraphics set. Yeah, that's the OG in chronological order.
It's real pretty.
It's very pretty.
For anyone who doesn't know, Usagi Yojimbo. First of all, I only knew him as a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle character. I had the action figure from the original TMNT line. Mm-hmm. I just thought he was another mutated character. Mm-mm. I discovered much later that to
your chagrin?
No, I was delighted. I was like, oh, he's got his own thing? Oh, I'm going to check this out. And it really is, despite being anthropomorphized animals, it is very serious samurai tales.
And aren't humans always the bad guys?
I don't think there are humans. I don't remember seeing humans. I think they're all anthropomorphized. Like there's rhinos and rabbits and yeah. It is really good.
And we both want to disagree. John Romita Jr. is good. It's just sometimes he's fast and incredibly loose and like his
JMS.
His
Amazing
stuff
Spider-Man.
is great. Well, his most recent Amazing Spider-Man stuff is really good. Like even the last issue was really good.
Peaks and valleys, but yes, I agree. It's better than it was. His Bendis Avengers run was awful.
Absolutely awful. But I don't know. Like there's a couple of classic artists that have lost a step, but still know how to at least design a page. Yeah. Like Bagley, I do think that he lost a step.
Yeah.
But he understands comics and he knows how to plot a page. So it's never like egregious. It's just like, oh, it's not the best.
I will also say whoever inks him is a big deal. Like it's
are we talking about Romita still?
Factor. Bagley.
Bagley, yeah.
Bagley. Like the cover for Venom War
is beautiful.
There was two variants, Team Eddie and Team Dylan, and that's a big,
it's a connecting cover.
Connecting cover by Matt Bagley, and it's delightful. It's wonderful. It's like the best Bagley I've seen in a long time.
Yeah. Another one that you hate is Chaykin.
Howard Chaykin. Blech.
I think there's good Chaykin.
I've never once been like, that's good Chaykin.
I have.
Okay. So thank you so much, Christopher St. Saucy. Good night.
Let's find a home within the house of DC. Let's stay here for a little bit.
Oh,
because
nestle in?
It's a very, we're just going to nestle in.
I've got my nook.
This week is the beginning of the new. All of it.
All in, baby.
I believe DC is all in. So, like, it starts with the end of the old and the beginning of the new.
Yeah.
And let's start with the old, which is Absolute Power number 4. Written by Mark Waid with art by Dan Mora. This is the end of the large crossover that's been happening. And it ends. It kind of sets up what comes next, but also not really.
Yeah, it just kind of ends itself, which I like. There was a really delightful series from Marvel this past year called Blood Hunt, and that ended, but immediately sets up a brand new thing, a brand new threat. This just sort of ends, and then the next issue, All In, sort of sets up the next big threat.
It sets up a new status quo, but nothing that couldn't just be let go. Yeah. So, what did you think of this issue overall?
Oh, I think this is great. The way they spoiler alert, they do win the day. The heroes win the day. I don't know if you saw this coming or not, but the good guys won. And how they did so was really cool.
I thought it was pretty nifty too.
Yeah, and especially what happens to Amanda Waller at the end. I was like, oof.
Yeah,
ooh,
ouch. There's a character who is new to DC Comics that they give a really good edge to, and I want to see more of them.
Yes. Yeah. Same.
Really, really cool.
Yeah. So even the Oliver Queen of it all gets fixed, not fixed, but explained. This was great.
Yeah. The concept of this miniseries was that Amanda Waller used Amazo robots.
Yeah.
To sap all powers from superheroes.
Yeah.
And the way that spoiler, they reverse it. But the way that they do, just like the mechanics that are put in place are actually pretty impressive, and I liked it a lot. Yeah.
None of it reads as we set this up and didn't know how to finish it. It reads as, oh, this was all seeded 4 issues ago.
To sound like a simp, I expect from Mark Waid.
Yeah.
I expect him to think these things through. Yeah.
He's got good posture.
Yeah, he knows his endings before he starts. I love Dan Mora, but I think this issue does suffer from the last 2 also. It is a lot all at once, and this should not have been 4 issues. This should have been longer.
At least 1. At least 5. Just so the storytelling can breathe a little bit.
Yeah, it is. It's a little packed. It's. I feel like important things happen in a bunch of other side stories.
Yes.
Because they do like really quick in dialogue exposition shit that it's like, oh, come on, guys, just let it breathe for 1 extra issue, and you could have done that in the main series.
Yeah.
But other than that, it was still a fun read.
Yeah, it wasn't enough to upset me or like confuse me too much. Like I was like, no, I know what's up.
This is something that if I do reread it, maybe someday, because I know that DC does their apps or their omnibuses in chronological order.
Good on you.
What?
Good on them.
Yeah,
for doing that.
Yeah,
like that.
DC or Marvel doesn't, but DC does. If I ever reread this, it will probably be in like that format where I can get the chronological fill-ins as they go to feel like fuller. Yeah. It was like with Metal. The first Metal read so much better with those tie-ins in the middle where they belonged, as opposed to like yada yada in the main series. Oh, by the way, Superman Prime's with us now. Okay, cool. Bye bye. Like how? Where? What? Yeah.
Although, am I wrong here? I feel like there's Absolute Power Origins, Absolute Power Task Force 7. Is there another mini series that goes along that's just Task Force? The rest all seem to be interwoven into ongoing series.
And one shots. So there were no other mini. Like the minis were just the Task Force 7, the Origins, and then there was a couple of one shots like the Super Sun and Ground Zero and something else. But other than that, it's been all actual series issues.
Because my problem with their upcoming omnibus, if they don't do it, I feel like a lot of the stuff we're missing happens in those interwoven pre-existing series. Which I don't. Would they?
Yeah, they do that.
Do they put those in there?
Yeah,
great.
Yeah,
that'll help.
You'll get issues like 14 to 16 of Superman.
Awesome.
Yeah,
awesome.
like it's just in there. But anyway.
Yeah, this was fun.
Yeah, it was pretty fun. I mean, little art things that aside, and honestly, pacing, not art. This art is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Little pacing hiccups I have aside, but I think that was just a product of 4 issues. But besides that, this was dope.
Yeah.
I enjoyed this a lot.
This and Blood Hunt were like
I think I liked Blood Hunt a little bit more because it actually did breathe.
Yeah.
But this is still crackerjack.
The I had been in what they call event fatigue, where like Dark Crisis and Dark Knight's Metal and Death Metal and stuff. I was like, oh guys, come on! But the 2 from the big 2 this year have been really good. I really enjoyed both.
And you know what? That's an excellent segue into the next thing we're going to talk about because I respect. If I respect Marvel for anything, it's the fact that when they do events, they at least like have them different flavors of events.
Yeah.
Whereas with DC, it's almost always, well, can we expand, collapse, close off, or reopen the multiverse? It's always the same fucking flavor of event, and I'm bored with that. Yeah. But they do a little spin on it in this one.
Yeah.
All In, special, #1, written by Joshua Williamson and Scott Snyder, with art by Daniel Sampier and Wes Craig. This is a symmetrical flip book.
Yeah.
Double-sized.
Dan Mora center spread art. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right.
Dan Mora does one...
the Legion page.
Spoilers. Dan Mora does the one middle section.
Yeah.
What did you think of this?
I think it's fine. I know it's a big double page thing. I'm sorry, double story thing. But it just feels more samey, like you said. I enjoyed reading it. I wasn't bothered. I really like what was going on with Booster. All that setup was pretty cool. The membership card was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
Neat idea, which reminds me of Scott Snyder's doorknob. There was like, we're going to take an inanimate object and make this a centerpiece for whatever reason.
Oh God, he just reminded me that is a trope that I didn't love. Go for it.
So yeah, I'm interested enough, and it was done well enough, but I'm not like, oh my God, it's a brand new day for DC. It just feels like, oh, okay, we're going to start some new stories. There's no reason to like call it All In.
Yeah.
For me, like it doesn't need to be designated like a big thing. At least it doesn't have the word crisis.
Yet.
Yeah. All In crisis.
On one hand, I enjoyed this because it was like, it's big and it's fun.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, it does like most things that I just don't like. I think that you don't need to make everything tie in or make sense. Or make sense in air quotes. The fact that this very overcomplicated setup is contingent on references to 3 other events from the last 10 years is, on one hand, cool. It's pretty impressive. On the other hand, it's so convoluted. Like, it's so double back on top of itself, heavily written in order to make it all make sense. Okay. So like the effort of it is like very member-berry and very well done, but it's also like, this is a lot. This is a lot that is just on top of and layered. And then the complication, the positive complication of making it kind of a flip book and how they set up this new universe goes all the way back to goes all the way back to Dark Knight's death metal. Like it's a reference to death metal and Dark Crisis. Yeah. It's a lot. It's just a lot. And it kind of like, it reinforces the bad habit, I think is a bad habit, of like everything being the same style of event. Yeah. And it's like, okay. Yeah. We're going to do this again. And again. Yep. And again. And again.
But that being said, I mean, I really enjoyed reading it. Yeah. I wasn't bored.
I really like Booster Gold centralization of Booster Gold. I like the setup. The art is freaking awesome. They play a little bit with the format and let like the flip book sections bleed a little. It technically doesn't matter which side you start from.
No, that's
first.
Nice. Yeah.
Because it is like I said, a symmetrical flip book, meaning that both sides of the story meet in the middle at the same beat.
Yeah, you meet a changed character And then on the other side, you get the origin of how that character changed.
I don't remember. So I don't remember what even happened to said character previously.
Like where he was before this?
Yeah.
Yeah, me neither.
Well, we're talking about Darkseid, guys. He's literally on the cover.
He's on the cover. Yeah.
In the Justice League side, he is the inciting incident and just shows up looking different, wrecking ass. And in the other Darkseid side, he you see the origin of him looking completely different and wrecking ass. And honestly, a lot of it is really, really creative.
Yeah.
Like the story points that they set up are like, oh, cool. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm really kind of torn. Like I love a lot of the bits of this.
Yeah.
But I also, I don't know, I've been reading for so long, I feel like I know where this is going, and I don't know if I care as much. But all the stuff that's coming out of this, super excited about.
Oh, good.
I'm excited about a couple of the all-in titles. I'm excited to sample all the absolute stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So if this is like a 2-year initiative to get to the next Crisis event, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be fun. I'm in.
All right.
I'm all in.
Oh, I say it's pretty fresh.
I think it's incredible. I think it's very fresh for the value. This is a $4.99 book, and it's like 70 pages.
Yeah.
This is a chonky
It's a
boy,
thick boy,
and it's like I kind of read sequences twice. Like this is a lot of book, and I think it's value alone, fresh as hell. Pick it up.
Definitely, at least try it out.
Yeah.
Speaking of all in, Batman number 153.
These are all jumping on points.
Yeah.
All of like all in out, all in after. When you're in.
Yeah.
All are dumping on points. So
dumping on points.
Dumping on points. Are you gonna dump on it?
No. So, famously, between just you and I don't like Chip Zdarsky's Batman all that much.
Mm-hmm. Famously,
I do love Jorge Jimenez's art, and for the most part, and this is I like everything that's set up here.
Yeah,
I don't know
cool.
how we got to a certain point with Gordon, but like the stuff that we've set up with a new company that is rising in Gotham, and a new hero who shows up. This was really fun. I was like in.
So
I was all in.
I get the impression. So I've on and off read the Zdarsky stuff. To me it reads better in trade than it does in issues. But
you mentioned
none of this was really mentioned before. But I think that the PI stuff is that Joker series.
Joker Year One?
No, the Joker series that Tynion did.
The man who stopped laughing?
No, the one that Tynion did before that.
Oh, okay.
He was like Gordon's a PI looking for. Cool. So like I think he's been a PI this whole time.
Gotcha.
But then all of this other stuff with the Riddler, I think this is just supposed to be 52 days later.
Yeah.
So they literally make reference like over the last 2 months, blah blah blah. So like this is a full on jumping on point. Yeah, there's no like all this other stuff, setting him up and blah, blah, blah. I didn't think you need to read anything else.
Nah, this was great. I will say Jorge Jimenez's costume design is so extra.
You know what?
So extra.
For the new character that is created, it wouldn't be believable or even appropriate unless it was extra as shit. Because
this character seems pretty extra.
That's what I mean. Yeah, it is... So much.
It's hideous. Absolutely hideous.
But dare I say, Batman the book, if it's going where I think it's going woke.
You say woke?
Yep. Kind of. There's a lot of subplots here that are that some dummies would consider woke.
Yeah, it's got opinions.
That's what I mean.
Right, yeah.
I mean, that's enough.
Yeah, having opinion makes you woke.
That's enough. Any kind of socially progressive opinion whatsoever makes the entire endeavor, company, writer, publishing, medium, woke. I like this. This was solid.
If the guy who was doing I guess he's not a fill-in artist. The guy who was alternating with
Mike Hawthorne.
I hope. No offense to the guy, but I hope it's not him.
It probably will be.
Like I'll read a Jorge Jimenez issue and I'm like, oh, that's cool, and then I'll go to the next issue and it's Mike Hawthorne and I'm like, I've immediately lost steam in this book.
No artist other than Bagley 20 years ago and Dan Mora today can be a regular artist on a bi-weekly book. Batman is a bi-weekly book, so you're gonna get 3 Jorge Jimenez issues and then like 3 others. It's just how it is. Yeah.
This art bored me so much.
Be angry
this was real
with publishing.
Fresh.
Yeah,
this
I thought this
real
was fresh. So this is good. Staying on the fresh tip. Is this? I'm assuming you thought this was fresh.
I thought this was fresh.
We're going to talk about Hyde Street, the new comic book from the Ghost Machine imprint, written by Jeff Johns and Ivan Reis. Well, story by Jeff Johns and Ivan Reis, art by Ivan Reis, Danny Mickey, Brad Anderson. This is a horror book.
Yes,
with tinges of anthology.
Yes, it has the feel of the Zone, the Twilight Zone. This feels very much like the Twilight Zone, but it's a very specific street that I guess not souls, humans will wander into to face a judgment of some sort, is what I'm gathering.
The rules aren't really established yet, other than when these people walk onto Hyde Street, the first inhabitant that they meet has first crack at them.
I see.
But we don't know how or what for yet.
Yeah.
It's honestly just a pretty slick setup for a bunch of short stories, horror tinged.
Yeah.
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 So each of these inhabitants of Hyde Street maybe have their own backstories we'll explore, but then, why they're doing this to get out, if there even is an out, and then the people that stride in, what their stories will end up being too.
Yeah, you get the people who get onto Hyde Street and are, become victims of Hyde Street. But then there are the people who inhabit Hyde Street, and there's a whole mythology and a backstory to all of them that is sort of seeded, and we're going to get more of, which is kind of interesting.
If the victims become inhabitants at some point, if not, or if so. It seems like it's just a living hell, but we don't know the delineation between those that live there or those that are stuck there.
Yeah.
Or if there is a delineation. Yeah.
I thought this was great.
Art is beautiful.
Ivan Reis is so good.
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember ever seeing him do a horror book before, but he has a good time doing it. Really
Although
fun.
I will say, in the same way that Gary Frank is one of my favorites, his children are a little creepy. Like the heads are a little too big.
Yeah, they look
for
like
their body.
They look like yeah. There's a little too many wrinkles on the face. Yeah.
But yeah, otherwise this was great. I like this.
Yeah, this was really strong. This is a good horror book.
This is, if you don't know, Ghost Machine is the new imprint from Jeff Johns and Gary Frank and a bunch of other folks. And this is a series of books inside the Ghost Machine. So this is their horror books. The next one up is I guess a one-shot called Devour, which you sort of get a hint of in this book.
So the back cover explains it to you.
Yeah.
The 4 universes, visit them all. So like Ghost Machine is just the name of the imprint. Some of the books in Ghost Machine are in the same kind of continuity, others aren't. So Geiger, Redcoat, Junkyard Joe are together, Rook is alone, Hyde and Devour are together, and then the new books coming out, which were just solicited, Hornsby and Halo and Rockefellers, will be in their own thing too.
The more family friendly.
Yeah, so they're creating an imprint that's literally 4 sectors.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I kind of thought Rook Exodus was in the Geiger Redcoat, just in the future.
No.
Guess not.
No. No.
Yeah, this is really good. This is a good horror book.
What did you read that I didn't read?
I'll tell you what I read. I read Storm #1 from the Ashes, A New Beginning. Storm #1, Legacy issue 12.
Yeah, they're doing that now.
By Merwewa Ayodele and Lucas Wernick. And
I like Lucas Wernick.
Tell me more.
He's got great art.
Yes. Oh, I didn't know if you where have we seen him before?
Oh, well, he was previously doing Immortal X-Men, but he also did a couple of Iron Fist, the Larry Hama Iron Fist miniseries he did, and it was wonderful.
Yeah, this is good stuff. Yeah. It's got tinges of Dauterman, Russell Dauterman.
Yeah, very. And honestly, I think that's why he was on a lot of the X books. He kind of fit that style.
And so we basically have my favorite of the single character X books. You've got Wolverine, you've got Phoenix, Dazzler. Which, actually, I didn't read Dazzler, so my apologies.
You're okay.
This is actually really, really good. I really like this. There is an event that happens in a small town involving a nuclear power plant, and the fallout from that. That was not intentional.
Puns on puns on puns on puns.
All the way down. And so we're introduced to a new character, a new status quo for Storm. There is a weird thing in here that I don't want to spoil, where it seems a little pompous for Storm to do. There's a whole big thing that happens, and a thing that she introduces, and I'm like, that seems strange for Storm, but okay. Other than that, it's sort of a beautiful book, and it's written in a lovingly sort of a loving prose.
Nice.
It's kind of flowery, but not overly such. This was great. I really liked it. I'm definitely going to check out issue 2. It sets up a problem that I'm like, ooh, Storm. Oh, no.
Oh, this art is dope.
Yeah, man. It's good looking, right?
Yeah, it's a good looking book. Cool. So you heard it here first, guys. The best of the new single character X books.
Highly recommend.
Where is it?
Fresh
Where
AF.
is it with the X books, though?
I would say Uncanny's the top, then X-Men, then Storm.
Yeah, you didn't like X Factor.
No,
X-Force was.
I didn't care about Exceptional.
I didn't read Exceptional yet.
Yeah, NYX is just below this, I think. Yeah,
Work.
good stuff.
Yeah, right on.
What do you got?
I'm gonna talk about something. It's gonna be difficult for me to talk about this. Because how do you really like?
You just don't have the words.
How do you exist in the presence of greatness?
Yeah.
Like, do you do it full steam ahead with confidence, or do you give it the reverence it deserves in every
Do you simp?
moment? Well, I mean,
You gonna simp?
If you wanna like degrade me like that,
Yeah, I do.
Whatever. We're gonna talk about Venom War number 3.
God damn it!
Written by Al Ewing with art by Iban Coelho.
I don't think I care for Al Ewing. I mean, as a person, I'm sure he's lovely. I bet he tips well. But
this is my time.
Oh, sorry, my bad. You're right. My bad.
I'm talking about Venom War. I don't know why you're besmirching the literary master that is responsible for this. This book is fucking stupid.
Yeah.
But it's the right kind of stupid. I don't know. Like
it's trash, but not garbage.
It knows exactly what it is, and it just kind of keeps one up in it. We see the return of Flash Thompson, Agent Anti-Venom. There are so many symbiotes.
Oh my god.
And each of them have their own backstory. And there are 2 sequences in this book that require 4 different asterisks for other issues of Venom during this run. And while it was annoying, I was also like, you do you.
Are you gonna go?
You go.
Are you gonna go read those asterisk issues?
No, not at all.
Okay.
But like, there's so.
Although I do like the inclusion of asterisk. Like, for more on this, go to this.
To mildly spoil things, last issue we left Eddie. Eddie and Dylan are fighting for the Venom symbiote.
Yeah.
Because Eddie had a vision that if Dylan gets it, that something bad will happen, and Dylan had a vision that if Eddie gets it, something bad will happen. And both of them are correct.
Yeah.
Like, those are both possible futures. So they're fighting to keep it away from them. They have their own armies of symbiotes that are separate. Other versions of Eddie, other this, or that, blah, blah, blah. At the end of the last issue, they kind of combine other symbiotes with each other to square up and fight. They don't square up and fight.
Like a Voltron?
Kind of. Actually, yeah. Dylan has a Voltron of other symbiotes around him. It's like
I hope he has lion feet.
Flexo and Silver. Actually,
I wouldn't be surprised.
you're not completely off.
Little Venom feet,
Yeah.
little Venom hands.
So we've got. Look at this. We've got.
God damn it.
We've got a square up.
Talk about extra.
It's so extra. It gets diverted a little bit, but then one of the symbiotes that is attached to Dylan, it's revealed that they have like a brainwashing from forever ago by Dr. Doom to when this happens you have to activate. So it's like sleeper cells. And it's shown in like a flashback with like an indicia of what issue that happened in.
Huh.
Which is like, oh, cool.
That
I didn't know that.
happened. Okay.
Yeah, that actually happened. And then it happens to another symbiote from another issue who attacks that other symbiote because it's Kang and Doom fighting with each other.
Via symbiote?
Via symbiotes across different time periods.
Huh. What?
Why the hell this is in that book? I don't know, but it's kind of fucking awesome.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Like, Kang has a sleeper cell symbiote that is activated when the other sleeper cell symbiote by Doom is activated by the... Are
these spoilers?
I don't fucking know. Because it happened. Yeah. Like, they show you the issues where it did happen.
It references things already happening. I guess it's not spoilers.
Yeah, like Fantastic Four here.
This has been set
up. Kang the Conqueror did his stuff in Venom number 25, Venom number 29, and Venom number 15.
Oh, cool.
But then it has a really, really good emotional beat at the end too with Parker. Yeah, I mean, this is rad.
Okay, great.
We have. If one can't, others can. I don't know. This is
I'm glad you like it. It's just not for me.
I kind of hate it, but it's well done trash.
Yeah.
It's well done trash.
I understand.
If this was like a trashy, this is the kind of vibe I want from the actual Venom movies, where it's just not self-serious, trashy fun,
that's what
goes
they are,
big.
right?
But they're not really. I don't think they know they're in on the joke.
Oh, really? They seem like comedies. I was just thinking, like, it seems more like comedies. The first
one, yes. The second one was just stupid.
I didn't even bother. I know the next one has like a Venom horse.
Yeah,
which seems to me like they know they're in on the joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just not for me. For some reason, and I was sitting here while you were talking, thinking like, why did I like the Donny Cates stuff? Like, that takes Venom and does like big, crazy, dumb stuff with it. And I think for me, all that stuff sort of made sense logically, whereas this is like, what if they're in a wrestling ring? Like, what? Why? Why would they even be in a? You know what I mean? That sort of stuff.
I'm gonna speak for you,
please.
And I don't know if it's that. I think it's the fact that the Donny Cates stuff was very linear, and it just kept introducing new things. This is so very retroactive, with multiple different timelines and time periods and symbiotes from the past and the future and this is eating itself, and it requires a lot more attention than either you or I like to give Venom books.
Yeah, that's true.
I think it's just a structure issue, honestly, because if they were doing this linearly in the same style that Donny Cates and Stegman were doing it, then I think it would be just as fine. But this is the kind of book that you can't like just put down for a little while and jump back in, because it's so up its own ass in regards to where things land.
Yeah.
It's very up its own ass.
Yeah. Okay.
And that is, just knowing the kind of readers both of us are, it's usually pretty unappealing.
So fresh AF? The freshest?
I mean, I don't know if I can give it a higher grade. Let's end.
Is it Mentos fresh? That's the highest grade you can give it.
When this book walks in the room, it's easier to breathe.
Oh, yeah. It clears all your sinuses. Star Wars, The Battle of Jakku, Insurgency Rising, number 1 of 12.
Actually, it's 1 of 4, but complete of 12. This is so weird. It's like 3 4-issue miniseries.
I see.
But it's a whole 12-issue thing.
I thought this was a 12-issue series, and then there'll be another 12-issue series, and then I see.
No, it's 4 issues of Insurgency Rising, and then I think the next 4 issues is a continuation, but it's a different subtitle, and so on and so forth.
When I watched the original trilogy of Star Wars as it was coming out in the theaters, or at least the last one.
All right, oldie.
I was naive, and I was like, "Oh, they won, great! All the fighting's done. It's a new day in the galaxy.
We did it, guys.
We did it! Yay! Everyone, high five!
What's for lunch?
Yeah. Wookiee is the other white meat.
Oh no! It's like turkey. It's like dark meat. It's like turkey.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think I have a little bit of both.
A little bit of both.
Get the thigh. Get the haunch. I like a good Wookiee haunch.
Or would it be like
the skin?
Would it be like dark?
Nice and crisp.
Would Wookiee be dark meat, or would it be like steak, or would it be like chicken? What are people? Are people like steak?
We're like I don't know. I guess we're like steak.
Are we white meat, or we're like dark meat? Anyway,
the last I had human,
muscle.
I was like, this is like steak.
Yeah.
Not chicken.
Porkish, maybe, like the consistency of steak.
So this lets us know, that's not what happened. You don't just stop a war and then everyone's chill. There are factions out there that are not within reach of the big battle who don't know, who are just going to keep on fighting. And then there are those who do know and are like, I don't care. We're going to keep on fighting. So I thought this was actually really interesting. I've really been enjoying Star Wars by Charles Soule. He's like my favorite Star Wars writer. And was it Greg Pak?
He gives good Star Wars.
He do.
Yeah,
it was Greg Pak on Darth Vader. Also very good. And I was nervous because I don't know either of the names for this book. I was kind of hoping it would be more Charles Soule, honestly.
Did you say who even wrote this?
I'll tell you. It's Alex Segura with art by Leonard Kirk.
I think Alex Segura is a writer and an editor or something. Like he's
like I've seen the name.
I think he's either an editor or a manager. He's back office and front office, I believe.
Okay.
Kind of like how Peter Tomasi used to be. Where he was an editor, then wrote a little, and then became I think. Don't quote me. Sorry, Alex Segura stands out there. If I got it wrong, please correct me. Leonard Kirk's been around for 400 years.
Yeah. And the second story is by Alex Segura and Stefano Raphael. What did you think of this?
I think it was believable. I think it was interesting. I think the art was serviceable.
Fine.
I mean, that's Leonard Kirk's specialty.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't cut corners, but he also is not a very splashy or shiny artist.
Yeah. It's like Sean Chen.
Yeah, a little bit. It was fine. I do like that concept because history has told us that too. Like, wars don't just end in like a light switch; they end in phases. So this makes sense. And then using that propaganda with the using the imperial propaganda to hold it up as much as you can in order to kind of like keep an emperor going. That makes sense. Excellent conflict. But there was something weird about this, like the backup story. The main story was very linear, but then the backup story felt like an anvil of exposition. And I just almost wanted how dope would this be if the backup story was... I wanted the backup story to be the main story, in so much as I wanted more space. I want to only learn about this guy. I want to only know how big of a threat he is. But here, as the backup story, it feels like, by the way, you should fear him, and here's why. Right. We'll go real fast. Like, I wish they gave me breathing room to really fear this new character.
Right.
As opposed to, this feels a little bit like a really quick tell, don't show about why we should fear this new guy.
Literally.
Yeah.
You see this character every time he appears in the first story, he's in shadow for no reason. Yeah. I kept thinking, oh my God, is this a character we know? Is it going to be revealed that it's a dude we don't know, that we already know? Yeah. No, it's just some dude. Who cares if he's in shadow?
He's got a cool name. He seems like a cool new threat. Something that is, like an in-between high-stakes threat, which is great. Mm-hmm. Honestly, Star Wars should create more characters like this in the shadows.
I'll tell you, man. I was trying to Google it as fast as I could because my memory is awful. I want to say in the Charles Soule Star Wars Volume 2.
You're talking about the captain of the Tarkin's Will?
Yes.
Yeah, she's amazing.
She's fantastic.
I love new characters like that, and that's what this guy feels like.
Yeah.
How baller would it be if this was really just a whole issue of getting to know who the hell he was during the war, and then we end with what's going on in Endor?
I politely disagree.
Oh.
I think this was exactly what I wanted for this. Like, I don't think I would want to read about a whole new character I don't care about. I think the backup was perfect. Like, okay, we get the quick beats of like how he became this guy. But I honestly am more interested in like the conversations between Han and Leia and Luke and Leia and sort of like what happens immediately after the singing the song in the Ewok village. You know what I mean?
I want that too, but I don't know. I just think I think it's stronger to set up I know these characters.
Right.
I miss these characters. I enjoy hanging out with them. I just also think it was probably a little bit more important, or just like for gravitas purposes, for the next 12 issues to truly set this dude up instead of like hide him in shadow and then the reveal being, oh, he's like nobody you know.
Just that
We're
guy.
Good.
Oh, cool.
I
just some dude.
Just balance, if anything, but also too, there's a little bit of a, I guess, a mystery about this pilot. How did they get there from there? I don't know. My read of this book, first of all, I liked it, but my read of this book was the most interesting new things kind of kept getting interrupted by the characters I already know.
Huh. To me, it was like a perfect, here's a setup, here's a thing that happens, and then we're going to cut, and then we're going to come back. And to me, it was perfectly balanced.
Yeah, like this.
As all things should be.
This opening, dogfight and the who is talking? Either way, the text boxes. This was all like really, really good smash cut, and I found myself more interested during the new character stuff, even though there is a great Leia scene.
I'll tell you, I mean, that bodes well, right, for this writer introducing new characters that you care about.
I want to. I would prefer the new characters so far, because I love my original trilogy fam, but I've spent a lot of time with them, and let's expand this. Like they don't always have to be involved with absolutely everything. Yeah. So like I want them in little pieces. I know how they're going to react. Yeah. It's fine. Let's bend them against other people. Yeah.
I'm wondering how this is. So the first novel I read from the new Star Wars canon was Lost Stars by Claudia Gray. That was like my intro to Star Wars novels, and it was awesome. It's still my favorite Star Wars novel. And it deals with, from the beginning of this trilogy, the original trilogy, to the end. It ends sort of around the Battle of Jakku. And I'm kind of hoping we get those characters in this book a little bit. It would be nice to tie into that because it literally ends at the Battle of Jakku. So I'm hoping we get them.
Wait, where's Jakku?
Jakku
What's the Battle of Jakku?
The Battle of Jakku is where what's her name? Rey was from in the first Force Awakens.
Yeah, but when did this battle? It didn't happen in the movies.
No. It is supposedly the final battle of the war that finally ends the war.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So.
And that's, you find out why those the detritus from those ships are all on Jakku.
Cool.
Because it all happened right above it. Yeah.
So
it's great.
This might retread some of that stuff?
You don't know if it needs to retread, but I would like to see them. Like if we get to see them interacting or like show up in this book. I don't know if it needs to retread it, but yeah, because you only get it from their point of view in the like the climax of that novel.
Rey's not even born yet.
Yeah. So yeah. Anyway. Yeah, this was pretty fresh.
Pretty fresh. The art's just fine, but other than that, it's pretty fresh.
I want the guy who did the second story to draw most of it.
Maybe he's doing the next mini.
Yeah. Like Leonard Kirk is that, would you call that a journeyman? Is that what that is?
Yeah, he's a journeyman.
Yeah.
The thing about Leonard Kirk, there are some pages that are like, yeah. And then there are some that are like, where'd that face come from?
Yeah. This one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then there's also like this. I love this.
Yeah, the next page is amazing.
Yeah, it's he is an incredibly efficient and he doesn't waste space. He doesn't waste time. It's like, I know what big beats this book has. He just kind of has that language and will spend more time on those versus the interstitial stuff in between, which is probably a superpower, but you know.
Sometimes Luke looks like Luke. Sometimes he looks like Dolph Lundgren.
A little Dolph Lundgren though, like a little short one.
And it does feel kind of Georges Janty to me. Oh, you know, the Buffy artist. I never know if I'm saying that right. Georges Janty. I just go for it.
Yorgis?
Yorgis.
Is there anything else coming out this week that you're excited about?
There's tons of stuff. I don't remember
if
any
you know
of
off the top of your head, it's fine.
Yeah. I am looking forward to our conversation tonight on the live stream.
Yeah.
And that is, what are we talking about?
This week on the podcast, we're going to be talking about all the shows that have been happening. Agatha, Penguin.
And then our main review.
We are going to talk about Apartment 7A. I have to figure out when I'm going to watch it. And we'll go from there.
Yeah. For anyone who doesn't know, Apartment 7A is the prequel to
Rosemary's Baby. It is on Paramount Plus right now.
Go watch it so you can join our discussion tonight.
And even if you don't watch it, if you watched Agatha or Penguin, join us.
Yeah. All right. Thanks so much for hanging out with us, and we'll talk at you later.
Doo-doo-doo.
Diddly-dee-doo.
Behind the scenes, I'm not the anthem I once was, an anthem I sang, the song of me.
Thank you for listening to the CultPop Network, home to podcasts, live shows, and a whole lot of fun stuff for every flavor of fan. Follow us wherever you find your favorite podcasts, and be sure to join us live every Wednesday night at youtube.com/CultPopGo at 8 p.m. Eastern. While you're there, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you'll know when we drop new Thunder Rounds and episodes of Fresh Floppies, a spoiler-free show about single-issue comics released each week. Until then, we'll talk at you later.